It's not affecting me though. It wasn't a margarita. I wouldn't have been able to work. But a line I can do. But whenever I have a vertical line, I want to have a horizontal line too. And I like to, if I have this angle coming down that way, then I want to do it the opposite somewhere else. It's kind of a rule that you should be thinking about with all of your paintings, whether they are.
How many did she do?
I should put these over here in order.
A lot of preparation.
Yep.
Okay, so we've done a few more lines here. And one thing that I wanted to I'll show you that I love to do are these little narrow lines. They are attention getting. They really are. They grab your eye. But the way you do those, and this ruler is wonderful because you can see through it. So all you need to do is to put one of the lines. Okay, I got a vertical line like that, so now I want to do a horizontal line too. So let's do it down here. And let's have it going right into the bird. Now what I like about this ruler is I can see through the ruler, line it up with that line I just made, and then know that this is going to be perfect. So now if I really want it to show up, I can, and being it's in, I'll paint on both sides of this. And I think I'll use my small brush. Okay, we're almost ready for a break too, right? 8 o'clock?
Amy can?
Okay. See, I'm scared to take a break because everybody will leave. Promise me. So it's just to paint around the two sides of that, and see, doesn't that really grab your attention? A small line like that, I think, really does. What I love to do is if I painted it around to positive. So now,
How about within the bird form itself, would you ever paint positively?
yes, and yep, that's exactly what I have done. I'll show you that in just a second. I think it's a nice illusion. And you can really see I've done that with this one. See, I've got both sides of this, goes into this light area, changes to a positive. I went within the wing to get to complete that. The same thing with this part of the wing right here, where it goes into, I can do it right here. If it's into a medium color, then because I've negative painted around this part of the bird, I do want to change it to positive. So I got over, I'm going to break the rule on purpose just so I get a grayed down color. So I've got a pink color here and I'm putting a green over it. And you will see that you'll end up with a muddy color. And the same thing with the heads. If the head of the bird goes into a light area, I can make the rest of his head here a little bit darker. Is my head getting in the way?
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you could remove it.
Your mic isn't on.
Frank, I'm throwing things in that box there. Is that
Sure.
That's my garbage. Okay, another thing that, actually I'm slipping up. One of the things I did want to talk a little bit about, before I went to break, forgot, is marketing. And I did bring little 8x10s that are $15 each, if anybody wants any. So if you want any afterwards, it's an honor system, just put your money on the table and And hopefully your friend will come by and take it afterwards. Anyway, but those are laser prints. They're done on acid-free paper. That's really important. When you go and you have your paintings made into laser prints, if you decide to go that route, because it's a really poster print quality, make sure they're on acid-free paper, because at least that, and then I use acid-free mats too, everything. I use acid-free mats because I really, really believe in that. Anyway, I brought those. I also brought the description of all of the workshops that I teach. There's handouts on the table there. And if you aren't on my mailing list and want to know about different classes that I teach, there's a sign up there. And on that other table that Jan, you're not going to leave, are you? I want one of your books.
Next time.
Are they out?
Yeah. I'll bring some more next time.
Okay, on that table there's the announcement about Pat Undis and I co-teach a workshop up at Superior Shores, and it's a wonderful workshop because we paint totally different little abstracts, and I named them Little Abbies because they're little abstracts, little 5x7 abstracts, and I just call them Abbies, and Abbies is short for abstracts. I don't know how many people, I have this little story about this at the art fairs, and how many people I tell about how that this started because my mom and I do this card exchange, and this started because of that. I took a workshop from Gerald Brommer. I loved collage, and so I just got into it real big time and started doing these as cards for my mom. And then I started doing it. So I tell this story about, lovingly called Little Abbies, and so people say, so your mom's name is Abby? So anyway, this is an example of the Little Abbies, and I'll put that over so that you can look at that afterwards too. The first day we work on these, and this is a no-fail workshop. Everybody comes away with winning paintings. And I got several in here that have taken it. Honestly, it's just one of the best. It's really wonderful. The second day of the 4-day workshop, you work on one that's this size. And this is an 8x8 about. And basically, these were with a dark pathway going through. And this is with a light pathway going through. All 4 corners are filled in. So that becomes a little bit harder, when you work on the second day. So we go up to that size. And then the third and the fourth day, we work on one that's like this size, or half a sheet. Go through the birds with either a yellow or an orange or a pink, some really light color. I love this look right here. And so with your little 1/2 inch brush, you can do that real easily. So, let's see, let's go over here. And when they're done, I do erase all these pencil marks, and they do come up pretty good, so. I bet that was a question that was. So anyway, with the yellow, then if I just come straight down, and then if I want to, I can skip a little bit and then do it again. It's not going to show very good down here. So maybe I'll make it a little darker as it continues down. Is my head in the way again?
No, that was good.
I did good there? And then I like to just make that disappear at the end of it. If I have a hard line, that's going to grab attention, and why would I want to grab attention here when there's nothing there? Hard lines will, your strong lines will grab attention, your darks will dark against light will grab attention. So, okay, and then here is an example of where I have the light, and then I have painted within that. So I've gone inside of that. So this is coming along, so I'm ready for the next one. Favorite parts. When I have a lot of colors and I'm starting to solidify it. So now I have to pick one color. And then I can change that color slightly as I go through, but I kind of want to just go with one. So, and it usually has to be somewhat of a primary color unless you want to change it as it goes over some others. I'm gonna do a green, a darker green. So now I can go into my Antwerp, and I'll add a little bit of the yellow with that. Areolan yellow. Yeah, is that how you say it? Yeah. Really? Okay, and what I'm doing now is I am truly making a darker pathway to lead you through and to tell you where to look. So this is this is the zingers, but it's still not as dark as what I'm going to get. And now I have more fun because I'm not going to have to, once in a while I will have to fade it out, but most of the time I will be able to just put it down and let it be. Let's see, let me fade this. But then here's a drip, I love drips. Then I would go on both sides of the drip and just let that kind of go right through. Kind of looks like that bird's doing a doo-doo, isn't it?
But it's a pretty doo-doo, so it doesn't.
It's harder to see the birds in that.
It's so fun
Yeah, it
getting the
is.
darks. Do you see how you just get excited? One way that I really check up on my paintings, and I discovered this when I kept going back and forth to get water in my studio, is that if I look at this with peripheral vision, I can see the value so much better than if I look at it straight like this. So if you get used to, with your paintings, just do a little dance. Come over here about 3 feet away and look at it sideways, you're going to know where you're going with your
Yeah, that's
value.
what Tony Van Hassel says.
That's a great tip, write that one down. And then we go down to its belly. I got my head in the way. I also like to make squares. So this would be a fun place to have a square right there. So I'm going around the edge of that square. See how it makes kind of a roadway for the eye to follow? So far you're following along here. Whoops, I forgot to fade that out.